Hey everyone, it's Nathan Orenstein with The No Show, here to talk about Saint Maud. Saint Maud is written and directed by Rose Glass and stars Morfydd Clark and Jennifer Ehle. It is available with an Epic subscription, which you can get a 7-day free trial for. Saint Maud is a horror film about a private care nurse named Maud who becomes the caretaker for a dying woman named Amanda. Maud is a recently converted Catholic and she believes that she can save Amanda's soul. Saint Maud follows in the footsteps of many of its indie horror peers and presents itself more as a drama with horror elements and an unsettling undertone. Saint Maud specifically feels like a character study for Maud and how her newfound devotion to God has really changed her life. The film explores how the line between devotion and obsession can be easily crossed and what the consequences of that can be when pushed to the absolute extreme. One of the things I like most about Saint Maud is its approach to storytelling and character building. Most of the information here is not presented in a very straightforward way, and we kind of have to piece together who Maud is through her actions and her conversations with other people. This isn't a revolutionary approach to storytelling by any means, but I do think it's a really interesting way into the mind of a closed-off character like Maud. This style of storytelling also means that Saint Maud is a movie that really builds up steam as we learn more and more information about Maud. Admittedly, the first act does feel a bit slow, but there's nothing here that feels inessential to the story as a whole. I also want to temper expectations and say that the horror elements really don't show up until later in this film. I don't want to spoil anything, so I'm not going to go into detail, but I will say that they're all done really well, and they serve to kind of reinforce the themes of devotion and obsession. On top of that, everything in this movie feels like it could potentially happen in real life, and that just makes it all the more scary. I do want to note that the budget for this film probably wasn't enough. Some of the special effects really don't look very good, but it's not enough to take you out of the experience, and a lot of the film was done using practical effects anyway. Even though the horror movie stuff doesn't fully kick in until later, the unsettling tone of Saint Maud is felt throughout. The score is heavy and malicious, the camera work is disorienting, and the lack of light and use of shadows works really well here too. Pulling this all together is Morfydd Clark's performance as Maud. Maud is such an unnerving character, even when things seem to be relatively normal, just because it always feels like she's on the verge of some sort of psychotic breakdown. Clark wears her emotions on her face in a very eerie way that adds a subtle element of horror even when things seem to be going perfectly fine. I do think the film's approach to tone setting comes off as a bit pretentious or overtly artistic at times, but it's only very briefly and infrequent. Saint Maud isn't going to be a horror film for everyone, but I 100% recommend it if you're into character-driven horror films or indie horror in general. It's a bit of a slow burn, but the ball just keeps rolling and picking up speed until the film explodes in the finale. I find obsession to be one of the most interesting subjects a film can be about too, and I think Saint Maud does a really good job of portraying that. It does have its flaws, but it's still a great movie overall, and I'm going to be giving Saint Maud an 8 out of 10. If you enjoyed the review, then feel free to like and subscribe if you're new, and if you've seen Saint Maud already, I'd love to hear your thoughts down in the comments below. I've been Nathan Orenstein with The No Show. Thanks for watching.